Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out True Off My Chest. Story 1. I left my husband. We were together for 8 years, recently married, but I realized he wasn't who I thought he was. He cheated with a 19-year-old, he didn't respect me, and has the emotional intelligence of a 12-year-old. I tried to stick by him and support him through his struggles with mental health, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I left a few months ago, but still need to go back and get the rest of my belongings. I've been struggling to figure out how to explain it all to my family. Aside from that, these past few months have felt so freeing, like I can be myself again. I realized that I was losing myself, and now I'm learning how to live again. Story 2. I am leaving her tonight. I've been with my partner for 3 years now. As always, things started off great. She has a daughter that I've grown to love as my own, even though her bio dad is still in the picture. I dropped everything for them, I got a bigger apartment, I switched jobs to make more money, I changed everything to give them the peace of mind they deserve. It was all better than I could have ever imagined until this weekend. That's when I found out she's been cheating me with her sister's roommate. She didn't have a great relationship with her sister when we first met, and I encouraged her to rekindle it because I knew it bothered her. Her sister is a free spirit, rarely holds down a job, drinks, and does absurd amounts of coke and X just to pass the time. She lives with 4 guys who her and my partner have known since middle school. They seemed cool enough the few times I've hung out with them, so whenever she wanted to go hang out with her sister I wouldn't bat an eye. I found out during our camping trip for Memorial Day weekend. When she was in the bathroom with her daughter, I grabbed her phone to look at some of the videos she had been taking, but admittedly curiosity got the better of me and I went through her messages, and that's when I saw her texts to the roommate. I felt almost paralyzed. It almost felt like I was going to black out, but I somehow managed to gather myself and chill out. I took some screenshots of the texts to have as proof and put her phone back in her bag. I didn't say anything to her. We only had a few hours left before we came home and I wanted to spend those hours with her daughter. The past few days I've been thinking of what to do, and the best solution I can think of is just packing my stuff up and ghosting her. I am quitting my job tomorrow morning, and after she's left for work I'll grab my stuff and leave her with a printout of the messages I read. I'm still in a daze. My whole life is gone now, the future I saw for us is nothing, and I'm not sure how to process all of this still. I'm calling my brother a few states away to see if I can stay with him and set up shop elsewhere. Tonight though I have to lay down next her, and I'm not sure I won't break down knowing what's coming. Update. First, I want to thank everyone for their kind words and advice. I am doing the best I can right now. I am meeting with my boss in an hour or so to wrap that up. I am also taking the advice of talking to her baby's dad about me leaving. We have always had a good relationship and I want to give him a heads up on what's coming. As far as the apartment goes, we only have 3 more months on the lease and I am planning on paying for the remaining months, mainly so her daughter has somewhere to stay for the time being. I made sure she knows that I love her and always will. Holding her this morning knowing it was the last time I would ever see her was the most difficult thing I've ever done, and it took everything inside of me to not sob while doing that. I'll update later once I have all my stuff and am away from the city. Thank you guys, you have no idea how comforting it is to have your kind words to come back to. Update 2. I know I said I would update when it was all over, but you guys are right, I should have a talk with her daughter before I go, so when her bio dad picks her up from daycare I will be meeting them and talking to her in person before I go. It means a lot that he is letting me do this, and hopefully it's just enough closure for her. Story 3. My girlfriend of 13 years has recently decided to become an escort. As the title says, we've been together with a few breaks for 13 straight years, been living with her for the last 5 at least. She owns the place, rents from the council, it's council housing, nice, a maisonette. Recently the cost of living increase and her spending her savings on laminating floors and buying expensive shoes has left her cash poor. She doesn't work because she's on the sick, and gets benefit every month/2 weeks? Which isn't a lot apparently, that's what she says anyway. But in the recent 5 months she rapidly gravitated to online sex requests, like people asking for her used underwear, or videos of her showing off her boots/legs/feet. Then later she disappeared for a weekend. She told me she was at her sister's. I was too scared to find out the truth. I didn't want to believe it. Then I get a frantic phone call on Sunday. She was working at a hotel doing tricks in the rooms. Had to split earnings 50/50ths with her handlers. She made about 800. She had to get out of there, or pay the pimp his money. She left and caught an Uber. I told her I didn't want her doing this and that there were other ways to make money. She said she was doing this for us. It's a lie, our sex life now is non-existent, can you blame me though? But she made a tiny effort to get a normal job and went straight back to drinking and trying to exploit herself on private websites catering to independent sex workers, which I think is a terrible idea, as now she wants to invite men home for strange non-sexual services. So I am moving out. I have the money and an appointment to see a room somewhere, and as soon as I have those keys in my hand I am out of there fast, as this situation is degrading quickly. I love her, she has always been there for me, and I'm trying to talk sense to the girl, but this is a bridge too far. Story 4. I just found out my coworker is my cousin and that my aunt has a secret affair child. I, 21F, just found out that my coworker Ruby, 18F, is actually my cousin, and I'm stunned. The world is small. My aunt got divorced from my uncle some years back, but I don't think anyone knows about this at all. I mean, I have cousins who don't even know yet, and I don't think her husband knew either. When my aunt was in another state for work and married, she had a whole entire relationship on the side, had a baby and basically left. What I heard from my friend/coworker and now cousin, she's seen her sometimes and was around for a little while when she was a kid and haven't seen her again since she was 5. The only way I found out was looking at her home screen at a Christmas picture, and I said, "Hey, how do you know that women in the photo?" That's when she explained. Ruby and her dad actually knew that her mom had another family. My other cousins and her ex-husband don't know about Ruby though. I don't know if I should tell my cousins about this. Story 5. My husband told me he hopes I die during surgery. I am getting a gastric bypass in 2 weeks. I have had this planned for over a year when I got my insurance. It was a snap decision, but my weight has been an issue my whole life, and my GP has been pushing me to get the surgery after multiple failed attempts at trying to lose it myself and multiple health issues being made worse by my weight. A year ago I made the decision during my lunch break to get health insurance, and the fortnightly payments have pretty much kept me motivated in my journey to better myself, because OMFG, it's so much money. My husband was so angry when I called and told him I signed up for the insurance. He told me it was a waste of my money and I didn't need to lose weight, but after a short argument he didn't bring it up again. Months went by and I forgot about it because I had a whole year to wait before I could do anything, but I was taking steps to better myself in other areas. I started dressing nicer. I went into a clothes store for the first time in a decade and spent $1,000 on a new wardrobe. Which sounds like a lot, but I have hated myself for so long I only wore t-shirts and joggers. I went to the hairdresser for the first time in 6 years. I went to the dentist. I am looking into maybe braces? I started my bachelor's of data science. Like when I say I have completely taken this as a chance to become a new person, I'm not joking. I want to come out of this being proud of who I am and not just the same me in a skinnier body. My husband is not supportive at all of any of this. Every step he has just told me I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm spending too much money. The clothes I wear don't look good. I'm not smart enough to do data science. I just ignored it because I thought maybe if I improved myself it would motivate him to do the same. He doesn't even need to get a better job or anything like that, but maybe he could cook more or do stuff around the house or take care of things I can't because I'm so busy. But he won't. Like we are 25 and 26, we can do anything we want. Our life isn't over yet, we have only just started it. He doesn't have to spend the rest of his life doing nothing. The closer we got to my surgery date, the more he would send me videos of bariatric surgery patients telling their stories going wrong to scare me out of doing it. He would tell me statistics of me gaining weight back and that I'll probably still be fat, so there is no point. After about a week of this I snapped and an argument ensued. I called him lazy and said that he's living off me money, so I don't know why he complains so much. And he told me he hopes I don't wake up from the surgery and walked out. He won't answer me calls now, and I think in 2 weeks I'm going to come out of surgery without a stomach or a husband. Story 6. My boyfriend said the quiet part out loud. Last night my BF, 20, and me, 21F, were going to have sex last night. For context, this is the only non-abusive relationship I've had, especially in regards to sex. To put it lightly, my other relationships didn't give a shit about me or my pleasure. Sometimes I get worried my current boyfriend doesn't care about my pleasure, but I've been convincing myself that I'm just paranoid and putting up a wall because of my last relationships. So we're getting in the mood, and I notice once again he is not doing much for me and I'm doing everything for him and his pleasure. For instance, this happens often, I put his hand on my vagina and he moves it away. I tell him I really want to orgasm tong it and he immediately does an annoyed face with a big sigh. I'm confused. He says, but that's so much work making you come. If it's your ADHD or something, but and I immediately stop what I'm doing and my mind goes blank. I do have ADHD, but let me tell you, this man doesn't eat me out, doesn't finger me, has said he finds vaginas gross, so let me tell you this has nothing to do with my ADHD. Last night he confirmed my worst fears, that for 5 fucking years I've been dating him and he doesn't give a shit about if I orgasm or not during sex, which, surprise, I never ever do. I've never been so angry in my life, and I'm not an angry person. Today is his birthday and I still feel so angry. I don't know what to do. Story 7. I got my dick sucked by a stranger tonight. I just had a surreal and unexpected experience on the way home from a day out. I'm not working this week, so I went out to buy some books. Been feeling quite confident in myself as I've lost a ton of weight, but I wasn't prepared for the extra attention I got today from all over the place while I was out, in the street and on the train on the way back. That said, didn't pay it too much mind and carried on my journey home. As Elle got close to home, I'm walking past a slightly chubby but pretty woman, looks to be Latina, South American my guess. As I'm feeling more confident these days, I smiled at her and nodded. She smiled back. I carry on walking before turning around to be cheeky and check her out, only to discover she's also stopped and looking right at me. I say, "What's up?" She silently points to the church across the road. I'm confused, but she's smiling broadly at me, so I assume she wants to talk to me and get my number. I follow her across the road and she goes to the corner, waiting for someone to finish walking past. At this point I'm befuddled and asking her if she's all right. She just beckons me with her fingers, so I oblige. She immediately crouches down and grabs my pants. I hadn't had a blowy in about 6 to 7 years, so I immediately pull my dick out and she starts sucking without a word. Almost forgotten how good head feels. At first I didn't think I was gonna come, as I wasn't hard to start with, but she had decent technique and used her tongue a lot, so I started to swell up quick. Couple minutes in she started focusing on the head of my shaft and that was it. I came right in her mouth. She gulped it down quickly, looked around to see if anyone saw, then got up straight away. I asked her for her number, she shook her head and smiled. Then she continued away on her merry journey. I'm still trying to process that this happened, how it happened and why, but I don't think I've ever had my confidence boosted so much from a random encounter. It was probably not smart, but I have zero regrets and I actually feel sexy for once. LOL username. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.